Let's try to move forward a little bit, about where we go from here. I mean, you want regulation, you want the right, smart regulation to make sure this doesn't happen again. But we're not on the brink, but we still have a lot of hurdles. Joblessness still 9.7%. Let me ask you first about the housing market. There's a study coming out that shows, from Zillow, that shows that 1 in 5 housing markets is at risk of a double dip. A decline again in housing prices would be another real problem. How concerned are you about some of these pillars of the economy still?
Well, I believe that the financial system is stable. So I have a great deal more confidence about the way forward than I would have, a year ago. So that's a positive. In terms of housing, the government is still housing finance today. It's Fannie and Freddie and other programs. Mortgage rates are at attractive levels, and although I think the risk you're citing is a risk, I don't think it's likely that we're going to have the kinds of problems you're foreseeing. We
still have a foreclosure issue. We still have people who are in homes, even when they get a loan modified, they're never going to afford that house. I mean, some people have a bad mortgage, some people are just in a bad situation.
Christine, you said that very well. That I worked very hard as Treasury Secretary to bring the market participants together so that everyone that wanted to stay in the home and could afford to stay in the home was able to stay in the home.
And that's not everybody.
That's not everyone, because for some people should be renters. And it's very difficult to design any government program that's going to be fair to the taxpayers and be effective and avoid all foreclosures. Right. Because there are going to be some people that didn't put anything down on the home, were betting that the home price was going to go up. When it didn't, they would prefer to walk away from the mortgage. And there's going to be others that just can't afford to make a mortgage payment. And one of the things that struck me when we were working very hard to design programs that would be effective and fair was the number of redefaults we had, even after modifications.
Yeah, we've been watching that now, still watching that redefault, because in the beginning it might have been a funky mortgage, and now there's a job loss, and the math simply becomes impossible for some families. So why did we miss housing as the core of this crisis then? When I look through the transcripts of all, and I remember the speeches and the interviews from 2005, 2006, 2007, you, Ben Bernanke, the president, many people were saying the housing crisis, subprime will be contained. The housing market is too big, and the subprime is too small of that to take down the financial system.
Right.
We got it wrong.
Yeah. When I came to Washington, I knew that there was a good chance that there'd be a credit crisis. We were overdue for one. I knew there was a lot of dry tinder out there, but it's very difficult beforehand to predict these things. And I think the reason that so many experts didn't see this, and the reason I didn't see it, is you look at the history of our country. Ever since World War II, we've had residential home prices have generally gone up. Mortgages have been safe investments. We haven't seen a nationwide decline in home prices. And of course, when we got the kind of decline we've experienced, behaviors change. People used to do virtually everything to avoid defaulting. They would scratch together any money they could find to make the payments. And when home prices are worth less than the debt in a number of circumstances.
And you haven't put any money down on it, and you have an exotic loan that you probably don't understand anyway. You don't have any, as you say in the book, skin in the game to fight for that house.
Now, fortunately, many people still feel an obligation, and an obligation to make their mortgage payments when they can afford to do so. Right. But behaviors are changing.